Right, the next one that I want to talk about are the sex kitten shoes. Now, this is again another form of distraction, and it is normally a way to, it's just another way to fill the hole. It's typically an attachment trauma thing that I found, or it's where someone unfortunately has had some form of sexual abuse in their past. Not always. Don't just assume that because somebody's got their sex kitten shoes on that they've been sexually abused. It's not the case. Everybody is motivated for different reasons, but ultimately sex kitten shoes are driven by a need for connection. They are wanting love, they're wanting attention, they're wanting that intimacy quite often that they're missing in their daily life, and it's not uncommon. In fact, I'm finding it more and more prevalent. I'm finding that social media is really helping to promote our younger generation to look a certain way, behave a certain way, you cannot be who you are in order to be loved. I mean, what a load of BS. It's such shallow material, and it really does concern me for our lovely, gorgeous young ladies that are coming up. They're feeling the need to be something different in order to be loved. And my hope is that this will wake up the herd. This whole thing about the shoe psychology is that kind of mentality is it's out of control now. It's our role models have become people who are quite often, dare I say, fractured souls themselves and haven't dealt with issues themselves, and they are all about getting lost in a world of superficiality, eyelashes that are out here looking a certain way, their nails are all false. And I'm not saying that everybody's like this, by the way, guys, but it's when it becomes over exaggerated. I think I might have mentioned a girl that I saw in the supermarket the other day, and honestly I immediately went, you poor lost soul. She had the false boobs, she had her eyelashes out to here, her nails were long and false. The way she was standing, she had the tight little top on, Jimmy top with lacy back. She had her very tight gym flared kind of slacks on, tracksuit bottoms, I guess you could call them. I think she'd had her backside enhanced. Her nails were all done. She had her high heels on, and honestly I would punt a guess that she was probably 15, 16, and I was just like, she was on her phone, which was all blingy, and I was just like, oh my God, you poor girl, what has happened for you that you felt that you had to do all of that when you're so young, or any age, it doesn't really matter, in order to be loved, to find a partner. Do you really want to have someone loving you for your false lips and your false eyelashes and your false nails? Or would you rather have it where someone is likely to love you no matter what? Because I got to tell you, the looks go. You're going to get grey hair one day. Yes, you can dye it, but do you really want to? Can we not just, what happened to the age of just aging gracefully? Make the most of yourself, yes, but this whole need for, I'm not good enough, I have to change the way that I am, otherwise I just will never find the love. And to be told that repeatedly in social media is just, it's shocking to me that this is something that has gained unbelievable momentum. It's like an avalanche of adverts, and Instagram does it, and TikToks, and our singers and our actors, and these reality shows. It's just, I mean, why do they call them reality shows? They are so far from reality. I mean, honestly, just even thinking about, what's it called? Oh, I can't say the name, but anyway, where they are out on an island and they have to survive, and the only way that they can get food is if they dive down and get a brick. And then they get their Mars bar or whatever it is, their chocolate, you know, or whatever it is that they're supposed to be getting. And I'm honestly going, if you were on, you know, having to survive, you're not going to be diving for a brick, guys, and you won't be rewarded with a chocolate. You know, it's just like there's nothing realistic about that scenario, and I just it burgeons and fires the light for over competitiveness, not supportiveness, not that nurturing environment and supportive environment. So, you know, it does concern me, especially with my young ones. And this was really one of my big drives for starting with. I know a lot of people might balk at the whole concept of shoe psychology. What do your shoes tell you about you? But this was one of my main port of calls. This was one of my main reasons, was to wake up our young ladies to go, sweethearts, you're beautiful the way you are. You do not need to change. Take all that crap off. You are just the way you are. You know, God gave you what he gave you. Make the most of what he's got you, but don't start changing. Don't start alterating. Don't be something that you are not in order to get, you know, what you think will be true love, because I have often found it's not true love. If they're loving you for the false attachments and the, you know, the high heels and everything, there is a hollowness that is in the other person that is they're looking to fill as well. So you've just really attracted another traumatized soul. And you know, if that is your lesson, then so be it. And clearly there are those people, otherwise we wouldn't have them in the first place. But it does worry me, because it's all about that I've got to look sexier, you know. It's my sex kitten shoes, it's my, you know, sexy boots, my sexy shoes on to go out tonight, and the shorter the skirt and the tighter the top and the more loose the backing. And you know, my mother would say, you know, they're very come hither, Vicki, they're very come hither. And we, you know, we don't want to be too come hither, because, you know, you just become, I hate to say it, but you just land up being a tart. And you know, and no, it just doesn't, it's not conducive to a good, happy, fulfilling relationship that will go the distance, that will go, you know, likely to be stable in a family environment where your kids are going to be healthy. So, you know, there is that. And look, you know, there is the other worry that I have with those sex kitten kind of shoes, those sexy shoes on, is that young girls often get themselves into a lot of trouble. Look, I can't tell you how many I've seen where this has happened. It's actually a bit disturbing, if I'm honest. I do remember one girl who went out and she had her party drinking boots on and her sex kitten shoes on. So she had her combo and just got so drunk, so wasted, and some guy had his way with her. She didn't even know that it happened. I've had another lady where she actually ended up pregnant, and she was like, but how did that even happen? And it's like, wow. So it's not just about looking sexy. It's if you attract the wrong kind of person. Like, I almost got into trouble the one time with my drinking boots on when I was in South Africa. And thank God I've got a really good friend of mine who was watching a guy buddy, and I was walking out to the car, and it was a bunch of Navy guys that were in Port in Durban, and I was walking back to the car, and he happened to notice that these two Navy guys were following me. Now, I was completely oblivious to this, but because I'd had too many drinks, and you know, I didn't think anything of it, but they must have interpreted. And this is where it becomes an issue. They interpreted that there was more to it than what was it. Now, I didn't have drinking. I had just my drinking boots on. I didn't have my sex kitten shoes on. But they saw an opportunity that I could have landed up in quite severe trouble. And fortunately, this mate of mine got some other guy buddies of mine and went out and intervened. And I remember driving away going, oh my God, why are they fighting? And I was like, oh, geez, you know, these boys, they're just getting themselves into trouble. Well, they were fighting to protect me. Now, that is so not a situation you want to get yourself into. I was completely oblivious, and I wasn't even doing the sex kitten stuff. So you can imagine if you've got your drinking boots on or your druggy boots on, and and you've got your sex kitten shoes on, like, honestly, it's a recipe for disaster if you're unprotected. So it's just, don't go there, girls. Don't we've got to wisen up to we've got to look after ourselves. And my thing is, make the most of yourself, but can we maybe take these sex kitten shoes off? You don't need to have that. I've had so many women have one night stands in the search for love, in the search for the real partner. And I can honestly tell you, ladies, if you're listening, girls, if you're listening to this, they are there for one thing and one thing only, and they are here today, gone tomorrow, and quite often in the middle of the night. And these girls wake up and they go, oh, I thought it would be more. And whilst they think, oh, well, it's okay because they said that it was just going to be a one night stand and I was fine with that, I can tell you on a subconscious level, you are not. There's a reason that you're doing it, and you need to stop and get on top of that while you can. It's the wrong way to go about it, and there's another way that you can get there. Get to a life coach. If you think you've actually got a sex addiction, which is the next level up, you definitely need to go and get some serious counseling. Don't try and do that on your own. I've found that quite often those ones are where there's some really deep-seated issue that's gone on with someone in their past, sexual abuse quite often, unfortunately, or where it's happened in the family somewhere else. I've had it where girls or ladies have said to me, well, she got all the attention and I didn't, so I felt that I had to do that in order to get loved. I've had it where quite often, girls are saying, well, I thought that's how you got them. I've had it where girls have said, well, I only get, that's what my friends do, so I just thought that that's what you had to do. There's part of that whole thing of needing to be part of the herd. And all of them are non-winners. They don't win. They only get you into deeper water. And I can tell you, hands down, no question, every time you have a one night stand, it chips away at your soul. You become more hollow, and you have a need to fill up quite often with other stuff, or you go harder on the sex kitten stuff and try and pick up more guys in the hope that one day you're going to have some seriously good relationship with them. And honestly, they don't have the respect just isn't there. If they are that kind of person, quite often they're needing to deal with stuff themselves. So please don't fall into that trap, and just maybe just turn off a lot of that social media, start limiting it, seeing it for what it actually is, which is shallow and not serving in your best interest. I want the soul to shine through. I want people to love you for who you are, no matter what, unconditionally. I want to have it where you have a relationship that lasts, that goes the test of time, that you, if you want a family, that you are able to do that, and that it is strong, and that it is stable, and that it is a lifelong, joyful, loving, connected and integrated relationship. And the only way that we can do that is where we can go acknowledge, I'm wearing the shoes to start with, and this is where it all starts. So if you know of anyone who could benefit from this video, please will you kindly share it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the Facebook group or comment here below. Please, very respectful. I do not want to have mudslinging matches. I don't want to have people denigrating anybody else. We are here to look after. There is no judgment. This is a no judgmental, no discrimination. We are all on the same platform. We all came here to learn our lessons. We just have different lessons to learn. Some people have different shoes to what we do, and no shoe is better than the other shoe, and my preference is no shoes at all. Let's just love each other for who we actually are, and let it be unconditional, and just blossom and grow as best we can, and help everybody else do the same. So let's get you in a pair of shoes that you want to wear, on a path you want to go on, and in the direction that you actually want to go in. So your shoes, your way, your path. So hopefully that has worked for you. Thank you so much for making time again. Once again, I thank you. Namaste.